southerly front moving up over the South Island of New Zealand and bringing with it probably what is the first dump of snow for our winter season. And I am crazy enough to be the only person in this car park planning to head out into the mountains. The first thing I'm going to do is get the tent set up. In these conditions I would put the tarp up first, but I actually want to use the placement of the tent to decide where the tarp's going to go. Unfortunately my tent has the fly sheet attached to it, so I put it up without it getting wet. Hooray! I say this every time I get my shelter set up, but it's such a relief when your shelter is up. Such a relief. I can almost stand up in this. I could make it higher so that I could stand up, but that's going to mean the back of the tarp needs to be high as well. And what I'm aiming for here is a little bit of protection around the back, so I can sit in front of the tent, look out at the view, but have quite a lot of protection. You'll notice that the water's running off the left and the right of the back of the tarp, and I'm aware that that means a lot of water is going into those two spots. But this particular spot that I've put the tent is on top of a slight mound, and it drops off on either side. So what I'm hoping is the water will all drain down the sides, and if it doesn't, I've actually got a shovel with me. I bought it just in case we have a lot of snow tomorrow morning. Wishful thinking. We may not get that much, but I'm prepared if we are. It's always useful to be able to move snow quickly with a snow shovel. Okay, I am magically going to set up my outdoor area. I'll bring you back when I'm done and having a cup of tea. chopped up and processed and in a nice big pile before I retire into my dry clothes, because as soon as I do that, I'm not going to be going out there again. look at this. I don't know if you can see it. It's pork and fennel sausages with caramelized onion and gravy and mashed potato. I brought some mustard and tomato sauce as well. Now I am going to dig into this. I'm going to make a pig of myself because I want to eat it while it's hot. So I'll let you watch the fire and I'll catch up with you after dinner. I've brought my 4 season sleeping bag. I usually share this with Indy when she comes with me, and I decided not to bring her today, which I know will disappoint a lot of people, but I didn't think it was fair on her. This is the first time I've gone camping knowing that I am going to get a fair amount of snow, and I want to figure it out on my own before introducing Indy to it. You make a lot of mistakes and you change things as you try things out. So I don't really have my cold camping, snow camping systems worked out, and I didn't think it was fair to bring Indy into what could be an uncomfortable situation unless I know exactly what I'm doing. This is what I have, a hot water bottle. So I've just put some water on for the dishes. I'll do the dishes and then fill up my hot water bottle, and then I think I'm just going to hang out for a little while by the fire and enjoy that while it's snowing. And then I am going to have to, the inevitable time will come when I need to change the configuration of the tarp, because I can't have it out like this overnight when it's snowing. It's probably not going to last that long, even just with this light sleety snow, because the weight is going to push it down. So I need to think of a way to configure it so that the snow falls off it easily and it's not going to tear or break in the night. So much has happened in the last hour, and none of it's been good. Sometimes things just don't go well. So I decided to change the fall of the tarp so that I could leave it up overnight and have it really like A-framed so that the snow would slide off. But when I went to move, I unpegged something, and something else gave way, and the whole front of the tarp fell down with a huge load of icy snow, which fell all over my gear, over my dry clothes, over my electronics. So then I was in a mad scramble to get that all off and get all my stuff in the tent and put the tarp back up, which was really difficult. Even though I've got lights, it was really difficult in the dark. And then I was getting really cold and quite panicked, and nothing goes right when you're feeling like that. In the process, I've lost my saw. I had it with me out here. I was shifting, because the fire was still going at that stage, I was shifting the firebox out using the saw so that I didn't burn my hand. I must have put it down somewhere, and I do not know where. I looked and looked and looked for it, and I cannot find it. And the worst part is that because it's snowing, the ground is all going to be completely covered. There's no way I'll find it in the morning. And if I want to have a fire, I need a saw, because I need to chop up the wood. And besides, I just love that saw. I don't have to buy another one. Oh, so I'm just feeling great, to be honest. Things don't always work out. Things aren't always rosy, so I thought I would tell you so that you know things don't always work out perfectly for me. Okay, all is not lost, you guys. All is not lost. I still have a hot water bottle. I still have a hot chocolate. But pretty much, I'm sure you understand, all I feel like doing now is just having a hot drink and watching one of the Netflix shows that I have downloaded. I downloaded a whole lot just in case I'm stuck here tomorrow. I'm not feeling at all happy about tomorrow because my boots are wet through. They're completely wet, and overnight they're likely to freeze. I had that happen on one of my previous trips, and I couldn't get my feet into my shoes for ages. And I'm not feeling great because I don't know where my saw is, and I don't know what our chances will be of having a fire in the morning without it. Pretty slim. Oh well, I'm going off to bed. Not feeling 100%, but the good thing about sleep is that it's like a emotional windscreen wiper. It just kind of clears things. You can go to bed feeling pretty crappy and wake up and it's a new day. So I will see you in the morning, and I have coffee for the morning, so it's not all bad. I'm sure it'll be fine. No, oh no, oh no. Oh, I leant on my bag of hot chocolate powder. I thought it couldn't get any worse. Oh my gosh, seriously. Good morning. Oh, probably look a sight, but I am just completely rugged up. It's incredibly beautiful. There's so much to tell you about and so much to show you, but at the moment I'm just watching all of the snow falling off the trees. It's really quiet, and then suddenly you hear boom, 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 as these big bits of snow fall. Like this one here. You can see that's going to go soon. Well, it did start to rain last night, and then I was thinking, oh, it stopped. But if you've camped in the snow before in a tent, you'll know that when you think it's stopped snowing, it just means the snow's accumulated so much that you can't hear it. It becomes quiet. It's not till you bang all the snow off the tent you start to hear it again. So I woke 4 times in the night to clear the snow off the tent, and even now it's back on there again. So I need to go around and get the weight off the tent because it's starting to bend the poles. So I'll do that first before anything else. I'm wondering what the chances are of me being able to raise up the front of the tarp. I would just so love to have some more space under there. It's so hard to operate in a really small space. Let's see. It doesn't actually matter if the tarp's quite flat because I can clear the snow off all the time now that I'm awake. It's just overnight I was really worried about it accumulating and ripping the tarp or damaging the tent. So even though I got myself in a bit of a flap over sorting out the tarp last night and it didn't really work out that well, I'm glad I did it, because the whole thing would have collapsed in the night if I'd left it the way it was. Okay, that's a bit better. I would really like to see if I can get a fire started. I really don't like my chances. I don't have my saw, of course, so I can't chop up the wood. I'm going to have to go into the forest and try and find some little kindling pieces. I only have one piece of my pine kindling left. I don't know what got over me. I really thought that I had saved more of it for this morning, but it is what it is. So I think I'm going to have to whittle that into some little fine chips and see if I can create a bit of kindling from these pieces down here. Wish me luck. And then after that it's a hot cup of coffee. Okay, I've got a fire of sorts going. I've lifted up the tarp and created a little bit more room out here. So I'm starting to feel a bit better. I'm going to get my wet weather gear off. All these sticks around the outside are just drying off, although just got to watch they don't catch fire like this one is. I might just put them down on the ground near the fire to dry off. It's not the wood inside that needs drying off, it's just the outside. If stuff falls out, I'm just not even worrying about it. Normally if stuff fell out, I'd be concerned that it would ignite the grass, but haha, not this time. It's so hard getting a fire going deliberately, there's just no way you could accidentally light a fire here. Oh dear. It's definitely not a roaring hot fire, which I just so desire right now. I have been putting off buying new boots because they're so expensive, and there's always something else, like I'm going to have to buy a new saw. But the time has come for new boots because they are no longer waterproof, and so they were wet through last night, and so I have been walking around this morning in wet boots. And people have suggested waterproof socks. That is a great idea. I will invest in those as well, but I just need to get onto it. Anyway, right now my poor feet are really cold, so I'm going to put the ground sheet out here, and actually I might just get my seat out and make that cup of coffee. I need to start thinking about what I'm going to do. And the reason I say that is because there is a lot of snow on the ground. Eek. So I have two options. There's three ways this could go. The first is that I pack up, I go to the truck, and I drive out. That would be ideal. The second is I pack up get to the truck, find I can't drive out because there's too much snow. And by the way, I have brought chains, and I have brought the four-wheel drive deliberately, knowing that there'd be snow. In which case, if I get there and I can't get out, I will need to stay another night. I'll probably stay in the truck rather than re-pitching the tent, but we'll see. And the third option is that I just stay here another night and just wait until the snow has melted. But I have no guarantee that it will. And I have no way of knowing. I might be able to get the truck out quite easily. So I'm definitely not going to stay here another night. I'm going to make breakfast, and then I'm going to pack my things up, which is just, it's always the worst part of a trip. I think I can hear voices. Not like I can hear voices, but I feel like I heard some voices down in the valley, which is a really good sign, because if I can hear voices, that means someone's been able to drive in, which means I'll be able to drive out. Although sometimes when you're all alone in the bush, you think you hear things and you don't, so we'll have to wait and see. Gosh, this is pretty. With the sun coming out, it's so nice. I'm actually really excited about the walk out. I'm still really optimistic, well, no, hopeful, that I'll find my sword. What I do know is it's somewhere between all the tie-off points for the tarp, because that's what I was doing when I lost it. I'll leave this out. This is going to be my poker for poking through the snow to find my sword. so far no luck finding the saw. I just can't think what I did with it. You know, did I just sort of chuck it to the side, or did it get hooked up in the guy line as I was pulling it, and did it fling off somewhere? A bit like a whodunit. It's usually the simplest answer that's the right one. It's probably just tucked up underneath something. So let me get the tent down and see what happens. There it is. Yay. I seriously was about to give up. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Yes. Oh, I can't tell you how happy I am to find my saw. That is fantastic, and that is the best thing about losing something. It's the joy you get when you get it back. You hadn't appreciated how much you loved something until you lost it. And I do love the saw. I really could have done with it this morning while I was trying to get that fire going, but never mind, I made it work. Right, so it's time for me to get my pack on and mosey my way back along the track to the car. I have a river to cross, and yesterday it took me quite a while to cross it because it's the sort that you just can't get across without getting your feet wet. And so I went all the way up the river, and then I took this really convoluted way to get across so I didn't wet my shoes. Of course they're absolutely saturated now, so I'm just going to charge right through. And I'll catch up with you at the car. Let's see if I'm going to get out today or whether there's going to be a whole nother camp from the car. Before I go though, I just want to say thank you to you guys. I haven't really had a chance to stop and just reflect on how much I appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, sharing, leaving me donations, comments. It's just been all go on this trip. I haven't even had a chance to thank my new Buy Me a Coffee member. Now their name is Someone. And I don't mean that as disrespectfully, as in I can't remember their name, but you can actually sign up anonymously if you want to. So welcome, Someone. I was going to say to you guys, if you fancy helping me buy a new saw, think about leaving me a little donation on YouTube Super Thanks or Buy Me a Coffee. But you don't have to, because I've got my saw. If, however, you want to help me out with some, what do you call them? Waterproof socks or new boots, feel free. If you are so inclined, you can leave me a little donation, but you don't have to. I love and appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Fingers crossed we get out of here, but let's go and see. beautiful. I can see footprints along the track, so I think it's safe to say people have been able to drive in, will be able to drive out. Bye everybody, see you on the next adventure. Till then.